in the news, CEOs are fed up with their jobs as well. And business coach and author Stacey Tuschl joins me live. All right, welcome to the Ken Coleman Show. Thrilled to have you with us. Hey, coming up midway through the program here, ladies, listen to me. Ladies that are in businesses for yourself. You have just recently started one. You are now up and operating, and it's going and it's moving, and maybe you feel like you're spinning plates so fast you don't know what to do, trying to figure out how to scale, how to balance all of the things. You're new into a business and you're really struggling with traffic. So Stacey Tuschl is a new friend and a friend of Ramsey Solutions, is in town today doing several of our shows. And she is a master when it comes to growing a business, specifically traffic. She has a product and a program called Foot Traffic. And she's really, really good at this. It specializes in coaching female entrepreneurs. And I know that a huge portion of my audience are females. So she's going to be great today. And I really encourage you, if that's you or you know somebody, maybe you've got a wife, a sister, a mom, or somebody like that who is in that space, wants to start a side hustle, wants to launch their dream business, is in it, and wants to keep growing, maybe going through some tough times. Stacey's a fantastic, fantastic guest, and we're going to open up the phone lines for that as well. If you're watching right now live and you want to jump in on that conversation, you got a question, 844-747-2577 is the number, and we'll remind you again as we move along. But that's going to be fun. Special guest, she'll join me live here in the studio. But let's dive in here. This is great information here. New survey from Gallup. They're the gold standard as it relates to polling companies. And they got some new data. So let's first set up the current environment, shall we? So according to this new poll, 39% of people say they are just as productive working at home as they are in the office. 39%. I honestly am a little surprised that number's not higher. I would think with the boom of people wanting to work remote, I would have thought that they would have self-assessed and said, I'm 50% as productive, or 50% would have said, I'm just as productive. So interesting. 29% say they've actually been more productive working from home. And then 60% of those working from home during the pandemic say they want to continue. Okay, so that number's really high. Not surprising there at all. So as a man of the people, I like to give you folks information that is relevant to you and helps you move forward. So here are the top 5 work from home jobs. Okay, this is coming from data that has been collected. Okay, Transcriptionist. So Transcriptionist basically listens or watches audio or video, and they type what they hear. Pretty simple. This is a growing occupation. So if you type fast, you've got good verbal skills, obviously, but you can listen and type and your grammar, you're like, you can edit it and look at it and clean it up. That's a strength for you. This is not going anywhere. This can continue to grow. And the reason is because everybody, sports, entertainment, business, ministry, nonprofit, it doesn't matter. Everybody's in the digital content space, putting out video, putting out audio. How do I double up my time if I'm in front of this camera right now? Okay, we're capturing the audio, obviously the video, but we transcribe a lot of stuff around here. And that's going to continue. $15 an hour is the average pay. You could build a nice little business where you're making quite a bit more than that. Virtual assistant. Job description is that obviously you can be an admin assistant, but you're doing it in a completely different location. High levels of administrative skills. Average pay $16 an hour for a virtual assistant. Tech support specialist. Obviously, if you've ever bought a sound bar or a TV or anything technology driven in your home and you need some customer service, you could be calling, talking to somebody. They could be sitting in their pajamas. Tech support, customer service. is what we're talking about here. The average hourly pay on this is $19 an hour. Social media manager, again, much like the transcription where this is everywhere now. It's no longer a niche. I mean, social media is every business has got to be in social media. If they're not, they're figuring out how to. Social media manager. So you are essentially a project manager, marketer, all in one, where you are helping create, curate, and execute on social media messaging and strategy. Average pay, $16 an hour. And then finally, customer service representative, remote job in customer service. You're just helping people place orders, fix orders, all kinds of stuff, right? So very much like the technical support, but this is your traditional. It's going to be a lot of phone work. So if you enjoy being on the phone, you enjoy solving problems for people, you're a people person, and you have high levels of patience because people can treat you like you're absolute dirt, and great opportunity there. And the average pay is $14 an hour. So transcriptionist, virtual assistant, tech support specialist, social media manager, and customer service representative. Those are the top 5 work from home businesses. And again, if that's your jam, you want to work from home and you can be productive, and you're not going to find yourself 6-8 weeks in feeling lonely and starving for human interaction, then there are some wonderful opportunities for you, and those are the top 5. So there you go. 844-747-2577. Good time to mention that if you want to go for any of those 5 or other jobs, you're looking to move right now. One of the big barriers for people moving is the unknown, and a lot of it is, I don't know if I'm going to get any looks. I don't know if I'm going to get interviews. I have to fill out all these resumes all the time. How much time is it going to take? Well, it takes a lot of time. And that's why I endorse Ziprecruiter, the #1 hiring job site in the United States. It's a one-click apply feature where you apply for jobs quickly and easily without filling out your information multiple times. That profile at ZipRecruiter.com/Ken with your resume, that's all you got to do. They do the rest of the work. They've got companies with jobs that are looking for matches. They match you up with their technology, and then they start recruiting for you and pitching you to these companies. And you get updates when a company looks at your profile, when they like your profile, and then when they ask for your contact information. It's easy and it's free. Doesn't cost you a dime. There is no catch 3 months in. The companies are paying them for the talent. You're the talent. Go. ZipRecruiter.com/Ken. ZipRecruiter.com/Ken. All right, let's get to the phones. Columbus, Ohio is where we start. Alan joins us there. Alan, you're on the Ken Coleman Show.
Hey, Ken, my question is it possible to interview too well? I had a situation where I have been in sales for about 15, 16 years, and I've recently decided I wanted to work my way into a different part of business. So I decided to go back to school and get a business degree, and I was looking to get into a career field in the meantime where I could maybe my work wouldn't follow me home so much. So I looked at interviewing in the logistics industry, and I went through everything that you had on there, which I love, the resume, everything was top notch. And when I went into my first and my second interview, I felt like I didn't get the job, that I was like, maybe they weren't used to speaking to people who communicated as well as I did, and they didn't know what to do with me.
That's fascinating. Let me tell you something, Alan. There are times in this job, what I do, where I just don't know. And I'm okay with that. It's really hard for me to analyze what you've just given me. I have to take you at face value. It seems a little odd. Your question, the question you hit me with right out of the gate, I literally paused because I don't think you can interview too well. To me, that doesn't even make sense. It's like my son coming home after one of his games going, "Dad, I think I played too well tonight." That's not even possible. So if you do a great job, you do a great job. You can't come out of it going, "Well, I did too well." What I think you'd have to analyze is, are you just simply not a fit? And the way you're seeing it is, they're not used to somebody who's as polished as me, who is as, well put together as me. And they may be going, "This dude does not fit at all," or "He came across this way." I mean, it's really hard for me to say that. Does that make sense? It's hard for me to know how to respond to what's actually happening with you without some real feedback. Did you get any feedback from them?
The feedback that I got, and I actually used the proximity principle to get involved into the interview. I had a buddy who worked there, and, he kind of coached me even before I went in the interview. They're going to do the STAR technique, and this is how they'd like to see you answer questions. And didn't give me the questions, obviously, but this was exactly the way that it was supposed to go. And, being in sales, you get used to giving answers that answer objections before they have a chance to be raised. Mm-hmm. And so when I was going through my second interview, the ops manager who was interviewing me literally, once I told about myself, said, "I have no questions for you," which was kind of made me pause. And I'm like, okay, did I answer everything ahead of time?
Yeah, that's the laziest. That's the laziest, most ridiculous response that an interviewer could give.
Well, I'm not, as a chance, I sent in the email and want to get on the phone when that wound was fresh. And I've had a lot of chance. I've been reading your book, and am I on the right path? When I look at my career, I'm instruction, persuasion, discernment type person. And I'm looking to start taking some college classes that are going to get me a degree into something, not because I feel like I need a degree. It's because I want an education, because I want to lead people. And am I climbing up the right ladder?
Are you climbing up the right ladder by pursuing a leadership role? That's your question.
Yeah, pursuing education.
Yeah, no, I would not go get education to learn how to lead. I'm just going to tell you that right now.
Okay.
Not the traditional education. But if you want to listen to the Entre Leadership Podcast as example, it's a free offering from Ramsey Solutions. You want to read Dave Ramsey's best-selling book on the very same title, Entre Leadership, that combination between an entrepreneur and a leader, which is a wonderful combination. That's a fabulous book. John Maxwell's 21 Laws of Leadership. I mean, there are ways to get an education without going to college. And I am not knocking college or higher education. People slap that on me all the time because I have enough guts to be honest with people. And the reality is I've not seen a leadership course on any college campus that's going to ultimately teach you how to lead. It can teach you about leadership. But at this stage in your life, if you want to lead, I'd be looking for a leadership position. And I think if it was me, I'd be looking for the lowest bar of entry as far as experience goes. And what I mean by that is if you don't have a ton of leadership experience, what you do have a ton of is sales experience, if I'm listening well. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
So if I was going to hire you, Alan, to lead anybody on the planet right now, it would be a sales team. Make sense?
Yes, sir.
And why would I do that, Alan? You following my train of thought? Why do you think that's why I'm recommending you look for a sales manager or sales leadership role? Why do you think I'm recommending that?
Because sales is a transference of belief, and if you want to lead a sales team, they've got to believe that you're able to go out and do the job you're teaching them to do.
That's right. That's just one answer. That's a fabulous answer. You could have answered that 15 ways. But ultimately, the reason I'm suggesting this is because you've got experience with selling, so you know the fears they're dealing with. You know the doubts they're dealing with. You know the voice of pride that pops up in a salesperson's head. You've got a lot of strategies. You've got a lot of experience. Boy, that's who I want in the locker room. So what makes you think you're barking up the wrong tree chasing leadership?
In the experience that I've had is like, I don't have what I feel like is the prerequisite to get the interview, to get the leadership.
Why?
Like the sales leadership. From my experience of interviewing and putting my resume out there, is I don't get the calls.
Well, but that's because you're going about it the wrong way. I mean, you're playing the lottery. You're just playing the job lottery by putting out resumes. Now, I appreciate the fact you read my first best-selling book, The Proximity Principle, and you just need to keep rereading it and keep rinsing and repeating. Because it got you one interview, good for you. It works. But just because you didn't land it doesn't mean that, you're barking up the wrong tree. I think listen, in today's world, you get the right company that's looking for somebody they need somebody who's got some experience. You've got a lot of experience, and leading people is pretty simple. I'm going to give you two things that are actually practical for you. To give you some confidence. I want you to write these things down. You got something to write with?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. I'm going to teach you, and then I'm going to prepare you for your next interview, all in one shot. Number one, in order to be an effective leader, you must ask these two questions on a regular basis. Number one, how are you doing? That's not a greeting in the hallway. Hey, it's not me cruising by Jenna and going, hey, Jenna, how you doing? That's a fancy way of saying hello. It is, hey, how are you doing? Life good? How's the family? Get to know these people you're leading, okay? That's personal, and that develops trust and connection. Second question, how can I help you win? How can I help you win? Now, those two questions, Alan, if you can ask those questions and actually listen and actually do something with the answers, that means care and coach. The first question, you better care for them for the answer. The second question, you better coach them. If you're going to ask them how they can win or how you can help them win, then that means you show up with the whistle and you show up early, you stay late with them, you coach them, you get them to wins. You know how to do that, yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, you do, which means you're ready to lead. Now, the flip side of that two-part question is next time you're in an interview for a leadership sales position and they give you a chance to talk, they go, what makes you qualified leader? You go, hey, because I know that leadership is simple. As a guy who's very experienced in sales, I know where they are, I know what they're feeling, I know what they're thinking, and I've followed a lot of good leaders or bad leaders, and as a result, my leadership style is really based on asking two simple questions on a regular basis. Drop that in the interview and watch them get blown away. I'm giving that to you. You don't have to give me credit for it. You take it.
That is good stuff.
I know
you.
it is. It's not good. It's gold. It's multiple levels past good. And here's why. Because it really does get to the heart of leadership, which is servant. It's a servant. A leader is a servant. You start dropping that kind of language in interviews, you're going to get jobs. You got me?
Thank you very much.
Stay with it, Alan. I want to hear back from you when you land the gig because I want to hear, here's what I want. If you'll commit to this, when you get the gig, I want you to call back and I want you to just tell the story. And I want my audience, people that are afraid to move into leadership because they don't think they're qualified, I want them to hear your story. You got it?
Yes, sir.
All right, I better hear back from you soon, by the way, because this is the best time in the world to get hired. Go, 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 Alan. 844-747-2577. Jam-packed show today. Don't forget, if you just joined us, Stacy Tuschl, best-selling author. She owns multiple seven-figure businesses. Hello. How would you like to drop that in your bio? Whoa. She's here live in studio. Coming up in just a few short minutes. Going to be great. Specifically, ladies, you're watching, or husbands, you got a wife or a guys, you got a sister, a mom, whatever, that's got a new business, a side hustle, or she's full-time and she wants to grow it. Stacy specializes in overcoming hurdles and in building your business, bringing in more traffic. That's going to be a lot of fun. We'll take your calls if you want to call on it. 844-747-2577 is the number. Let's go now to Emily in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Emily, you're on the Ken Coleman Show.
Hi, Ken. Thank you for taking my call. I just have a question. I'm working two different jobs that pay down BS2 for Ramsey, and I feel valued and appreciated at one, and at the other, I feel like I'm not valued and appreciated, and there's very limited growth opportunity, and I'm just wondering what I can do to overcome this.
I would look at the job where you don't feel valued as nothing more than a paycheck. I'm okay with that. Because this is getting you out of baby step 2. It's going to help you get through baby step 3, which is a 3 to 6 month emergency fund. And I would look at that job as simply that. You know what? They don't value me here. No big deal. I'm grateful for the opportunity to get the extra paycheck. I think that'll help you because you're valued in the other one. Because you drop it. At some point, you're going to drop that job, right?
Well, if they don't give me any chances to learn, I feel like that's the route I should go.
Yeah, but you're working two jobs for one reason and one reason only, to get out of debt, correct?
Yep, that's right.
So my point is when you get through baby step 2, maybe baby step 3, you're going to go back to one job, correct?
Yes, that would be the goal.
So my point is yeah, I get it. And you're crushing it, by the way. So my point is yeah, you're a rock star. Listen to me, Emily. Don't worry 2 seconds about how they're treating you in the second job. It is just a second job that is just making you money. You go in, you do a good job. Who cares what they think about you? They don't know what they got. And you know what? You're going to drop them like a bad habit as soon as you get out of debt. Right?
Right. Yeah.
So get over it.
So I don't need to worry if they do anything to improve or even notice me at all?
No, because you have that in the other job, correct?
Yes, I do.
Then pour your guts and heart into that and tell them you want to improve, and they know you're working a second job just to get out of debt. And your growth opportunity is over there. But this other job is nothing more. It's the same thing as you driving Uber or delivering pizza or whatever else. There's no growth opportunity for you there either, but you're doing it to do what? Pay
just
off
to
debt.
Get out of debt.
All right, then. So just look at it as that and just get over it. Put your big girl pants on. All right? And say, get over yourself and just go, you know what? That's fine. They don't see me. They don't value me. No big deal. I got options. Okay. I got lots of options because you do. All right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
You're a rock star, Emily. It's just a second job. Be grateful for it. Your attitude needs to be one of gratitude. Hey, I'm grateful for this second job.
It's frustrating
I know.
It's harder to go to one than it is to the other.
I know, but guess what?
It's like reversed where I should be.
I know, but here's the deal. Next time you start going, oh, I don't want to go to this job because they don't value me or treat me well, go, I'm getting out of debt. That's why I'm going in here. I'm paying off another credit card in 3 weeks because of this job. Get over it. Stop being Eeyore and be Tigger. Bounce in there because you're getting out of debt. You feel me?
Yep.
All right. No more of this. No more moping around. And listen, can I just tell you something? I'm not picking on Emily. Okay? Look right here. I want this camera right here. I want to zoom in right here. I'm not picking on Emily. I get like Eeyore. I've been like Eeyore. You get like Eeyore. But you know what switches it? Gratitude. Gratitude. Listen, folks. When I got to Ramsey Solutions, I was doing some things, paying my dues that I didn't want to do. And I got to tell you, there were times. I'm going to keep it real right now. There were times where I was like, I don't know why I got to do this. I'm better than this and I can do more. Golly, do you hear how awful that sounds? The people in the control room are cringing right now, and they should be, because that is pathetic. Nobody wants to hear that. So you got to get some perspective, and you got to have an attitude of gratitude. Go, hey, I get to do this right now, and it's not my favorite thing in the world, but it's allowing me to do this in the future. Or it's allowing me to pay off debt, or it's allowing me to put my kids through school, or it's allowing me to pay off healthcare expenses, or pay for my mom and dad to get. But find your why and focus on the why. And in this case, Emily's why is getting out of debt. So when she does this, watch, keep that camera on me. Don't move. I want this camera right here. All right, I want you to watch how pathetic and how exciting this is. Now watch. Instead of, I don't want to go in because they don't like me and they don't value me and they don't see opportunity and I could be making more. No. Get your why in front of you. I'm getting out of debt. So then you turn into Tigger. Woohoo! I get to pay off debt in 6 months because of this job. Woohoo! I'm so grateful that I have the health. I'm so grateful that I got the talent. I'm so grateful that I got this job to pay off debt. That's the difference. That's the difference. An attitude of gratitude. That's how we do it. 844-747-2577 is the number. Okay, so almost 9 million people left their jobs over the last 2 months of job reports, and now it's trickling up. What is going on? Let's discuss it right now in the news. All right, headline from Fast Company. The Great Resignation rages on. CEOs are fed up with their jobs too. So why do I share this? Because you're not the only one. That's why this show exists. Turns out even people that make a lot of money, who are quite successful, they need to change every once in a while too. Hedrick and Struggles, fascinating name for a firm. They did a survey. 1,095 companies, and they found that 103 CEOs left their jobs, which means the 103 other people filled those jobs. This is CEO turnover, top. Now, if you look at the second half of 2020, it was 49. So the number's up. So it's fascinating. And again, I share this just very briefly to say, look, being successful, making a lot of money, stock options, all the benefits that a CEO would have, does not make you immune to wanting to do meaningful work. The sweet spot where you use what you do best, talent, to do work you love, passion, to produce results that matter to you, mission. That never goes away. Even the most successful men and women long for something like that. So be encouraged, be hopeful. Opportunities are there for you. 844-747-2577. Hey, don't forget, to that end, the brand new book, From Paycheck to Purpose, obviously came out November the 9th. If you're new to the program, this is the methodology that I teach. All 7 stages: get clear, get qualified, get connected, get started, get promoted, get the dream job, give yourself away. No matter where you are in that journey, whether you just want to be an executive assistant or you want to be a C-suite executive, it doesn't matter. You want to find work that matters deeply to you. You make money and experience meaning. You increase your income and your impact. This is the book for you. We also can bundle it for you at kencoleman.com. There you see the 7 stages. We unpack those in the book in a deep dive. Thrilled that it's a bestseller, but I wrote it to equip anybody and everybody to do the work that they love, that they were born to do. KenColeman.com. You can also get the Get Clear Career Assessment, which will fast forward the Get Clear stage for you. And then if that's your compass, the assessment, then the book itself is the guide up the mountain, but we unpack the process in the book as well. So go get it, KenColeman.com. Okay, coming up next, live in studio, Stacy Tuschl. She's a wonder kind. I mean, she's phenomenal. She's a force of nature. We're going to dive deep on the challenges that women entrepreneurs are facing and how they overcome them. Don't move. This is the Ken Coleman Show.
Our world is changing, but so are we. Now, we see a smile through someone's eyes. We conquer our struggles and cherish each moment because we're shielded through faith and assured by hope. And greatest of all, we love. The world is different, but so are we.
You were created to fill a unique role in and through your work. The world needs what you have to offer. Now, some of you may be going, I have no idea what that is. Some of you may be saying, I know what I want to do, but I don't know how to get there. And then there's others of you who are saying, I know what I want to do, I know how to get there, but fear, family, doubt, finances are holding me back. I felt all of those emotions. I've been where you are, and I can tell you, there's hope. You can get there. That's why I wrote the book, From Paycheck to Purpose. It is a clear path that through 7 stages will walk you through the journey to be who you were created to be. You can make the income you want and the impact that you desire in your work. And the world needs what you have to offer. Somebody out there needs you to show up and be your best. And I know that you have what it takes.
All right, folks, welcome back to the Ken Coleman Show. Thrilled to have you with us. 844-747-2577 is the phone number. We're going to open up the phone lines because my guest, Stacy Tuschl, she's here today by my specific request. We met recently, was on her program, and she's great at helping women build scale, grow businesses. There's the personal, there's the professional. We have a lot of women in our audience. So Stacey, welcome to the program.
Hi, Ken. Thanks for having me.
So fun to have you here.
I know. I'm so excited.
Okay, so foot traffic is kind of like, that's kind of your hook. And I think everybody understands foot traffic.
Yeah.
But let's just, before we dive into some specific questions and challenges for the audience, which, by the way, 844-747-2577. If this conversation kind of sparks a question you want to jump in, we will do that. So jump in. So foot traffic, like helping businesses actually attract people.
Yeah.
All right. How are you the expert in that? Because I know you are.
Yeah.
But what leads to that? How did you figure this out?
So I actually started teaching dance classes in my parents' backyard.
Really?
Right out of the summer, I graduated high school. 17 kids, thought, this will be fun. I'll do this while I'm going to school. And all of a sudden, 3 years later, we had 100 kids every Sunday getting dropped off to my parents' backyard. And I grew up in a family business, construction. They're excavators. They dig basements for houses. So my family has done that for the last 50 years. And my family said, I think this might be a business. 100 kids, no marketing.
Yeah.
Something's doing, you're doing something right. And I decided at, year 3, okay, I'm going to do this. We went from 100 to 200 to 300. I mean, we just kept scaling. So it's not that I'm an expert. It's just I've built a business that continues to grow, and I wanted to show people. I was getting people to ask me those questions all the time. How are you growing so fast? How are you? We built a building in 2008 when everything was crashing down. We were building $1 million dance studio, and we just kept growing. So I'm just here to share, what we've done and how we've done it. And
well, but you're doing it. I mean, you are an expert because you've now you've bottled it, if we will.
Yeah.
You've turned it into a program. You're coaching women all the time on this. So that's why I have you here, because you're a practitioner. It's
Thank
not
you.
just, well, here's my opinion. You're still doing it. You have multiple businesses. Give us a quick menu of the businesses you're operating.
Yeah, so I have 2 dance and music schools. So
Okay.
think children's after-school activities, weekends, 2 of those, and then in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And then about 6-7 years ago, I started Foot Traffic, which was really helping people, sharing with them how I was building the businesses and how they weren't needing me. Because that was people don't just want a big business. They want a business that can provide but gives them freedom.
Yeah.
And that's the part that's a little bit more difficult.
It is. So what's the key? I mean, I don't think you can break it down to just one key, but give me what the big methodology is for you behind foot traffic. How does one create foot traffic?
I think creating an experience, and not just a product, but an experience that people love so much, they want to tell their friends.
Yeah.
I mean, for me to go to 17 to 100, it wasn't because I was focused on marketing. I was focused on those 17 kids who then just told their friends. And then those moms told their friends, and it started to grow the business. So I think so many times a lot of business owners think, I need to make money, I need to grow this thing. But that sometimes, I think a lot of times people can feel when you're there to grow it and to make money and to do all the things. But when you care about the person buying and what they're experiencing, that marketing will explode without you doing much.
Yeah, boy, that's so true. It's just good old fashioned. It's the thing we all crave, right?
Right.
How do you create the word of mouth factor?
Yeah.
I love that, experience driven. Okay, so here's what I want to walk through. I want you to take your time with this, but walk through some of the biggest challenges that female business owners are facing, whether that no matter where they are in the journey.
Yeah. Well, charging. I did this for free for 3 years.
Really?
Oh, man.
100 kids for free?
Yes.
Wow.
So when I say I've been doing this for 19 years, people will say, oh, but that's weird. Isn't your business only celebrating 16 years? I'm like, well, yeah. Not only did I not charge for those first 3 years, I didn't even count them originally. And my friend said, why aren't you saying you've been doing this for 3 years? So what's crazy is I charged them for what I needed to pay. So if we would go to a dance competition and it was $32, I would charge them $32.
Wow.
And then the tuition, there was no tuition. I just volunteered every Sunday for 3 years.
Okay, so I'm asking this as a man. I want to make sure I understand this.
Yeah.
I asked you what one of the big challenges is for female, and you said charging.
Yeah.
Why is this a female thing, and then how do we overcome it?
Oh, it's definitely a female thing. I mean, I've worked with a lot of men, a lot of women. Women struggle with it more than men do.
Is it because women are so nice?
I think we are naturally, maybe we're just not feeling as worthy of, would people pay for this? Could I really charge for this?
So it's a self-esteem thing?
Possibly. I think it's a confidence thing.
Yeah.
I mean, really.
That's what I'm getting at.
Because
when I just don't think, well, I'm not worthy of putting any profit on this.
Yeah. And honestly, the way I started charging was some of the moms started saying, I think you should be charging us. I mean, we're dropping our kids off every Sunday.
Yeah, they are now feeling bad for you.
They're feeling guilty. My clients were feeling guilty that they weren't paying for it. Yeah.
Okay, so not charging. Okay, so all right, so we want to move through to some other things, but I don't want to leave this.
Yeah.
So what have you learned and what do you teach now to women that are going, that's me right now? How do I step off that emotional cliff?
Right. Well, I actually think when you charge and when you charge a premium, you can give a better experience.
Right.
So when I was not charging anything, they got exactly what I could give them. And that was only what they paid for, right? So when I'm charging now, obviously I charge tuition. We can give them things and gifts and surprises and things they don't know about. Right. So, in our industry, a lot of times you go to a recital and you can pay $25 for the DVD and buy the shirt for $15. We give all those things away for free because we're now charging a premium for tuition, so we can go above and beyond and surprise them and wow them, and just do things that I could never do when I wasn't charging anything.
Okay, what's another big challenge?
Well, besides charging, and confidence in many ways, not just confidence in charging, but confidence in, can I do this? Or I think getting past those fears of, what are people going to think? Like, who am I to do this? I even had that fear of, I was a dance studio owner and then I wanted to write a book. And I didn't, this is so sad. It's sad looking back, but it's very common. I wrote a book and it was out there in the world for sale. And my mom and dad didn't hear about it until somebody said, I Googled your daughter's name looking for the studio and the phone number. I didn't know she wrote a book.
Wow.
And my mom goes, I didn't know she wrote a book either. It's
hey, mom and dad, I wrote a book.
I know.
That's
and
funny.
My mom's like, why? And it wasn't just her. I didn't really tell anybody. I think there was part of me that thought my identity is a dance studio owner at that time, right? Who am I to write a book? Who am I to start this new business? Who am I to teach other people how to do this? Mm-hmm. But as you just do it, rip the Band-Aid, you move forward, you start to gain that confidence of, okay, I am an author.
Right.
I do have something important to say. I'm helping people.
Yeah.
It takes time though.
It does. She's Stacy Tuschel, and we're talking about some of the challenges that are very unique to female entrepreneurs. It's very interesting on this confidence piece. It's popping up multiple times. The first one is not enough confidence to charge. The other is not enough confidence to maybe keep stepping out and go to the next level. So what are some of the tactics that you teach to say, okay, here's how you face that and move through it?
Just take action. Stop waiting for the perfect time. The idea of, I'm good enough, I'm smart enough, I'm experienced enough. Oh, I've got that certificate now. I went back to school, I grabbed that. You can do anything at any moment. You just got to get going. And you're never truly going to learn how to do any of that until you just get started and put it out there. Right. And this idea of perfection and the right time doesn't exist.
There is no right time at all.
Never.
And there's never going to be a perfect business. So what about the scaling part and the growing part? Because you also coach a lot of female entrepreneurs. So I think we have a lot of women that are watching now and then later, and they're kind of going, okay, I've got this thing going and I got it up. I had some early success. It's somewhat sustaining, but they know it couldn't be bigger.
Yeah.
They're probably still facing a lot of confidence there too, but practically speaking, the growing it, the scaling it, your thoughts on that, challenges there?
Well, I think the biggest challenge is we have the pressure on us to scale it. And really, I think the two ways you scale that business without you, the two biggest ways is getting the people, again, that great experience to help, be your ambassadors and spread the word and tell everybody because you're giving such a great experience. But then two is not just you doing all the work. If you're really building a business, you're building a business or the side hustle because you're thinking freedom. What is it going to give me? It doesn't give you freedom by being a solo entrepreneur because now you just have all these headaches and all the things. I really believe in building that team and whether that's a team of one other person, getting somebody on board with your vision to help you with some of those things and offload so you can stay and really do the things that you do best. So I think it's the people sharing about it and then the people internally on the team helping you grow and scale as well. So I think those are the biggest things is we think I'm not ready to hire. I'm not even ready to tell people I'm doing this yet. Don't be afraid to get people on board, to get people to help, to get people to share in your vision. I mean, there are people that would love to come and help you do some of these things. I mean, for free even. Some people that say, I see what you're doing. I see you're not even charging yet. I see you're not even getting it going, but I love the mission. I love the vision. I'd love to be a part of something bigger than what I'm doing.
I love that. So it's just the guts to ask.
Yeah.
All right. So I want to circle back before we let you go and back to something you said, which I think is great. And I think it's so simple that it's profound, and it's profound to the point that we miss it. Okay. And that is just provide an incredible experience with your service or your product. So there's only two things, folks. You either have a product or you have a service. So let's simplify business for a moment. So the experience piece, you've got so much experience on creating experience. Take us into a couple of things. And we've got lots of different business opportunities here. What would you say would be a low barrier of entry for people going, I've never really thought about experience. I've just thought about providing.
Yeah. Well, I would really start to be aware of how you buy and when you're wowed and when you're not wowed, right? Like really look at all of the things that you go to and how many things do we buy from on a daily basis or weekly basis, right? When are you going, wow, that was incredible? And sometimes it's a wow when you mess up or when they mess up and you go, oh, wow, they really handled that well. Sometimes somebody messes up and you say, I'm going to stick with this company because look how they are standing in integrity and really following through. So I would say be very aware to what you're enjoying, what wowed you, what kind of made, like, what are your frustrations? Where will you never shop from again because of what happened? That's how you build the business that you can feel great about and that people will talk about if you're constantly saying, how can we be better? How can we do this better next time?
Wow. Fantastic stuff. Okay. Real quick, tell folks how they can find you. I mean, I've got the website pulled up, but I thought to myself, how often do people butcher your last name?
Oh my goodness. Always.
T-U-S-H-L.
Nope.
T-U-S-C-H.
Yes.
See, even I'm reading
You're reading it
right there, and I was trying to think about how you would say it.
I know. If you foot traffic is that's why I go by foot traffic a lot.
Very smart.
Yes. So foot traffic podcast. But yeah, StacyTushel.com is where you're going to see all the good stuff.
I was reading it. Literally, she's looking. It's right there, and I still skipped the C because I was trying to think, how would you remind people to say that?
Yeah.
Foot traffic.
Foot traffic.
Just search Foot Traffic Podcast. That'll get you to the website.
Yeah.
You got a great program that you give people as well.
Yeah.
You're amazing. Thank you for joining us, Stacey.
Thanks for having me. So fun always.
So much fun. Folks, we're going to have more and more of Friends of Ken joining us here on the program. She's great. Again, check her out. Foot Traffic Podcast. She had me on. I can't believe she had me on. She had a dude on. But it was great fun. She's a bolt of energy and very, very helpful to you. So spread the word. For those of you that are watching later, again, check everything that she's doing out. She can really, really help you. And I think the big takeaway here, Stacey, and I want to hit this one more time. The big takeaway for anybody watching this, because when she said it, it reminded me. So whether you have a business or not, if you're in sales, you're in customer service, you are in a technical role, you are in a hands-on role as a mechanic or whatever, experience wins the day. When you create an amazing experience, an amazing moment, if you will, think of moments. You create an amazing moment. You've done something really, really special. So great stuff. Stacey, again, thanks for joining me. All right, I've got to get out of here. But before I do, I want to remind you, you matter and you do have what it takes. Thank you so much for joining us. Until next time, this is the Ken Coleman Show. Press on.